by the time you've landed a face-to-face interview with a potential employer, it's likely they know that you have the skills it takes to do the job. So a big part of this meeting is determining whether you're someone that they could work with, which translates to whether they like you. Hi, I'm Delina Bradley, job interview coach and career marketing specialist, and today I'd like to share with you 6 tips to be more likable in interviews so you can win offers faster. Tip number 1, pay attention to your appearance. Make sure you're professionally dressed for the industry, the job level, and the company that you're interviewing with. And before you walk in, make sure that you do a mirror check. So make sure that there's no kale in your teeth from lunch, or that your buttons are out of alignment, or that you're rumpled in some way. Just do that last mirror check so that you can walk in feeling really confident that you look your best, and they see that you have made a real effort on your appearance. Tip number 2 is think of some good conversation starters. You want to be able to use those first seconds that you have with the person to have a nice rapport and conversation. So do your research in advance. See whether you have people in common, either in the business world or personally as friends. Take a look in the lobby when you're looking around. Is there any interesting artwork or something that's indicative of the culture that you could talk about? And maybe there's some construction going outside, or there's always the weather. Just think of something so that if the interviewer doesn't lead the conversation, you'll have something that you can talk about. And tip number 3 is make a really impressive introduction. So when you first meet the person, give them a firm, dry handshake, make eye contact, and smile. It's old school, but it is really important to make that contact and show that you're really interested in meeting the person, and also use their name so they'll introduce themselves and you can say, "It's very nice to meet you, Sam. I'm really looking forward to our conversation today." Tip number 4, adapt your style. So when you're walking to the place where you're going to be interviewing, take note of your interviewer. Does he or she move slowly, or do they move more quickly? Do they seem like more of a reserved personality type or more of an extrovert? These are all great data points for you to gather so that when you do get into your conversation, you can adapt a little bit. You don't want to overpower a reserved person if you're a more extroverted person, or the reverse is true. You don't want to be maybe too reserved or quiet around a larger personality. And you need to, of course, be your authentic self and show your own personality, but adapting style is really indicative of you're wanting to build rapport with the person and engage with the person. And tip number 5 is no distracting body language. Be mindful of too much fidgeting with your hair or your clothes or your glasses. Those sorts of things can be real distractions. And also, don't put up any barriers between you and your interviewer. So make sure that you don't cross your arms or put a portfolio, hold it up next to you. Keep your torso open so that you can build trust and, again, rapport with the person. Also, you want to mirror the person's actions a little bit. I want you to do this in a very subtle way, but if you see the person lean in a little bit, then you lean in a little bit. Maybe they go off to one side, you go off to one side, and so forth. You want to be very subtle, and you don't want to mirror any negative body language, but this is a nonverbal way to build rapport and engage with your interviewer. And tip number 6 is show energy. A lot of times when you've made it to the interview and you're talking about your skills and your terrific achievements, you may forget to show energy and enthusiasm. So be mindful of the tone and inflection in your voice, and be excited about talking about your achievements, because that will be infectious with your interviewer. And also, they'll get the impression that you're excited about what it is you do, and then you can bring that into their company. So I hope that you've found these 6 tips helpful, and I wish you the very best in your next interview and in your career.